Most people think manipulation is loud, aggressive, something you'd obviously spot. Wrong. The manipulators who actually win. They're operating on autopilot inside your psychological wiring before you even register the interaction started. Your brain has a vulnerability. Call it the immediacy gap, the 7-second window where your conscious mind is still loading, but your subconscious is already making decisions. Manipulators don't convince you. They intercept that gap. Here's what's actually happening. Sign 1. The Premature Agreement. This is reciprocity hijacking, and it's surgical. Someone does you a tiny, unrequested favor in the first 5 seconds, holds the door a beat too long, compliments something hyper-specific, offers information you didn't ask for. Your anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that tracks social debt, immediately logs this as imbalance. You now owe, not legally, neurologically. Picture this. You're at a coffee shop. Someone you barely know pays for your drink before you can object. Oh, I got it. Now they're asking you to review their project. You weren't planning to, but your brain's screaming, you owe them. You say yes. Here's the layer. Healthy reciprocity builds over time with mutual exchange. Manipulation, reciprocity, front loads. The debt, artificially, then cashes out immediately. The favor was never generous. It was an invoice. Sign 2. The fractional truth. Cognitive psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect weaponized. Your brain obsesses over incomplete information. Manipulators drop partial truths, then ration the rest. Think of your brain as a filing system. Incomplete files stay open, consuming mental RAM. Complete files get archived. Manipulators keep files open. Scenario 1. Someone tells you, I heard something about your reputation at work, but I probably shouldn't say. They stop. Your brain goes into overdrive. You're now chasing them for information they controlled from sentence 1. Scenario 2. They answer your question with 70% of the data. The missing 30%? I'll tell you later. Later never comes with closure. It comes with another request. Hey, since we're talking, can you help me with this? The nuance most people miss. This isn't lying. Partial truths feel honest because they are factual. Your guard drops. That's the entry point. Healthy communication completes thoughts. Manipulation creates dependency loops through strategic incompleteness. Sign 3. The forced correction. This is misattribution of arousal, straight from evolutionary psychology. Someone says something slightly wrong about you, not offensive, just off. Oh, you're the quiet one, right? You're not quiet, you're selective. But now you're explaining yourself. Justifying, elaborating on who you actually are. Here's what just happened. They manufactured engagement. Your amygdala registered the mischaracterization as a micro-threat. Correcting it releases cortisol. You feel like you're setting the record straight. You're actually handing over psychological intel, your values, insecurities, identity markers, real world. First date. They say, you seem like someone who plays it safe. You're not. You spend 10 minutes proving your spontaneity. They now know exactly what buttons trigger your validation drive, the mechanism everyone misses. The initial statement was bait, calculated wrongness. Healthy misunderstandings happen organically, and both parties clarify. Manipulative ones are repeated patterns. They're always slightly wrong about you in ways that make you over-explain. Sign 4. Manufactured scarcity. This one runs on the mere exposure effect, inverted. Instead of building familiarity, they ration availability. You're always chasing the next interaction. Picture the reward center in your brain as a slot machine. Consistent rewards? Boring. Intermittent rewards? Addictive. Manipulators are the casino, and they control the payout schedule. Someone texts you intensely for 3 days. Deep conversations. Then ghost for 4. When they return, zero explanation. Just more intensity. Your dopamine system is now hijacked. You're not interested in them. You're hooked on the variable reward pattern. Here's where it gets darker. They're simultaneously hyper-available to others. You see it. They're posting, commenting, active, just not with you. This triggers FOMO, wired into your social brain, the fear that you're losing status in their hierarchy. Healthy relationships have natural rhythm with occasional distance. Manipulative ones have engineered scarcity, with visible abundance elsewhere. The unavailability is theater. Sign 5. The empathy counterfeit. Mirror neurons, the brain cells that let you feel what others feel, are the most exploited vulnerability in dark psychology. Real empathy is exhausting. It requires emotional bandwidth. Manipulators fake it with a formula. They reflect your exact words back. So what I'm hearing is you feel they validate intensely up front. That must be really hard. But watch what happens next. They never act on that empathy. No behavior changes. No sacrifices. Just words. Two scenarios. Your friend says, "I understand you're overwhelmed," then immediately asks you to help them move. Your brain got the empathy signal, but your calendar got the exploitation. Versus, someone listens, validates, then says, "Sounds like you need space. Let me know when you're ready to hang." Action matches words. The deeper mechanism, counterfeit empathy, is a Trojan horse. The validation disarms your defenses. Then the request comes. Real empathy adjusts behavior to your needs. Fake empathy uses your needs as leverage. Sign 6. Borrowed authority. Confirmation bias exploitation. They name-drop credentials, people, frameworks, not to inform you, but to relocate themselves in your mental hierarchy. My therapist says, "I was just reading this Stanford study. Tony Robbins talks about this." They're not citing sources. They're borrowing credibility. Your brain uses heuristics, mental shortcuts. One of them, authority equals truth. They're not earning expertise. They're renting it through association. And it works because your brain conserves energy by trusting credentials over content. The psychology here. When evaluating information, your prefrontal cortex does a cost-benefit analysis. Verifying claims takes energy. Trusting authority saves energy. Manipulators exploit that shortcut. Healthy expertise shows you how they know. Manipulative authority tells you who said it. Sign 7. The premature. We. This is the most dangerous. Attachment theory weaponized. They use collective language before collective trust exists. Our plan is, this is why we work. You met them twice. What's happening? The ventromedial prefrontal cortex processes self-concept. When someone uses we, your brain starts simulating shared identity. You haven't agreed to the partnership, but neurologically, you're already rehearsing it. Scenario. New coworker, 3 days in. "We're gonna crush this project." Feels motivating, but they're also implying shared responsibility for their individual tasks. When they underdeliver, you absorb the blame because the we frame already distributed it. The separation point. Earned partnerships evolve language naturally. Manipulated ones force intimacy linguistically to create obligation behaviorally. So here's the reframe that changes everything. Manipulation isn't about what people do to you. It's about what they make your brain do automatically. These 7 signs aren't random tactics. They're precision tools targeting specific neural vulnerabilities. Premature agreements exploit reciprocity wiring. Fractional truths hack your completion drive. Force corrections extract intel through micro-threats. Manufactured scarcity addicts your dopamine system. Counterfeit empathy disarms defenses. Borrowed authority shortcuts your verification process. Premature we language manufactures false intimacy. Every single one operates below conscious awareness until you name it. Now you see the architecture. The question isn't whether people will try these. The question is, will you catch it in the 7-second gap? Drop a comment with the sign you've experienced most. Subscribe for psychology that decodes the game. And here's your diagnostic. Go back through your last 3 uncomfortable interactions. I guarantee you'll find at least 2 of these patterns. That feeling you couldn't name, now you can.